thoughts, Dom?
Dude, my Instagram is literally just guns, cars, and big booty bitches.
Yeah, there's that intro track I needed.
Oh, shit.
Dude, your girl never even fucking comes near our YouTube channel. What's going on, guys? This is Matt with Amped Airsoft, and I got my battle boo,
Dom.
and this is Ask Amped episode 56.
Something like that.
We're still recovering from Bilson West Caspian Gap.
I
Shit
slept
was
for
lit.
12 hours. So
Yeah,
cool.
I think I got about 5 hours that whole weekend. But
I mean, when I came home, I slept for 12 hours.
so forgive our blatant just grossness and sickness right now.
I feel like shit.
Georgia was filthy. But if you guys don't know, this is our sort of every other week question and answer show. Just get your questions in the section down below, and we do our best to answer them in the following video. So, hit it, Dom.
All right.
See what we got. And yes, Anthony's not here. He's off doing non-airsoft things. You'll live.
Yeah. He's with a woman.
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 Don't get him in trouble, you
Yeah,
thought
that's-
hunter.
Sorry. All right. Jared Peary. I think that's how you say it. You dudes are dope and deserve more credit for your awesome vids. Thanks, bro. I leave for the Navy in a few months, and I want to get out and play more before then. Do you have any idea on good events in the Midwest before I leave in March? Hashtag 70% water. Hashtag Hobbytown USA Rockford. Hashtag Hobby Stores Slave. Hashtag never
You're
play
really
after
struggling
hobby.
on
Yeah,
those, aren't you?
I can't. Hashtag. Question.
The upsetting thing is that we're swinging into like the fall and winter where games are going to be a little more sparse, especially in the Midwest. What else is coming? I mean, it also depends where in the Midwest you are and how willing you are to travel.
Yeah, I just checked Facebook. I mean, Facebook always has all this stuff like events. So
yeah,
I would
I
do
mean, that's like a lot of the big companies like Bilson West, they only have one West Coast game left this year. American Milsim has one down south and then one in Texas, so that's a bit of a reach. MSATO. Did you even try? Good God, man.
that. Kind of missed. Like I said, long weekend.
He's
can't
still,
read,
he's still
can't
spaghetti
read.
from this weekend. I mean, all the indoor places, this is kind of the time they start kicking up. So if you have indoor fields around you, I mean, if you're cool with CQB and indoor stuff, like that's going to be kind of your thing. I can't think of anything coming around really.
No.
Yeah, you're just going to have to be able to like look up some fields and see what you can find. Sorry, we're not the all-knowing ones you thought we would be.
Yeah, sorry. Good luck in the Navy, though.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Derek Wang, hey Amped, I have trouble setting up my Cry JPC. What are some necessary pouches that I should put on my plate carrier? Also, what kind of iPro would you recommend? I currently run Smith Optics, Boogies, and they fog a lot, so I'm running around bumping into things. Thanks for the response. P.S. I'm Pandemania from the Live Me shows. Oh, what's up, dude? I'm going to go backwards, because I always do that. I've noticed pretty much almost anybody that runs the Boogies, they fog on them, because they're very low pro, and they sit very close to your face.
Well, they're made for jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah, they're meant for,
So,
like,
like-
halo jumps and shit.
They're really not made for
Which is weird that they're ANSI rated.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have to be or something like
That's
that.
the thing is you personally need to look at what games you're planning on attending for like the foreseeable future and what they allow.
Mm-hmm.
Like say if you're going to go to a Bilson West game, you can run OLM frames and be Gucci, and you could get those with like the vented lenses, and that's about the perfect combo.
I love that combo.
You can also get the Helo kit, and then you're good for AMS. A lot of the other big companies with the M frames. You could look at like the Smith Optics OTWs, the ESS turbofans if they still make those. I don't think so.
You probably stack some on eBay or something.
Yeah. You gotta just kind of figure out what like coverage you want. Obviously, like full seal and everything, and kind of also what's in your price range. But assuming since you have a Cry JPC, you can buy any of those things.
Yeah.
What would you run a JPC?
So we'll start at the back. I said the back panel will probably be a zip-on. So
That's
like
actually a good
if
idea.
I go to like a Bilson West or something, I don't know where you play or whatever, but I would want a flat back panel so I can carry my ruck on it.
Mm-hmm.
So a zip-off panel would be sweet because you could just zip on your whatever
Yeah,
whenever.
that's actually a really good idea.
I would put like GP pouches on the side, maybe like if you're running a pistol, like some of those pistol pouches on the side, and then I love the Cry M4, like the flap ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put those in the front personally, or you could just do the insert. So whatever floats your boat, really.
Yeah, and you don't really need an admin on the JPC because that whole upper part is a Velcro. I mean, it's not the biggest, but I mean, like again, like we don't know what you need. Like, do you need to carry like snacks and a shovel and things like that, or do you just want to carry ammos, Chineses? Jesus Christ,
Babies.
we're ate up. Yeah, you have to set it up for what you need. The only thing that I could say we can do is once you have exactly what you know you need, we can kind of give you experience of like, well, I run these of the 10 things you listed on my kit. I run 7 of those, and this is where I place them for me. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
Next question. Whenever
So you or me?
Whenever that's me.
Okay, go.
No, but no, I'm saying like next time you watch this, just drop.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this list of like.
Just drop a list. All right, call sign Russian. If you sexually identified as a cheese, what kind would you identify as?
I'd be Gouda, man. I'm all about Gouda right now.
That's weird.
Yeah. What are you gonna be, Mr. Italian?
Mozzarella, bro.
It's so tasty, but it's so bland at the same time.
I love mozzarella.
You would be.
Whatever.
Figured you'd be Parmesan, you flake. You fucking skid.
Fucking greasiest
Here
skid
you
you ever
go.
seen.
There's a
Come off
couple
the
of night
produce
vision ones
stand
in
the other
here.
day.
Oh. Rick Plowman, how can you be effective at night when you can't afford nods?
Shine your flashlight in their eyes. There you go.
I know we've answered this hit and miss a couple times in different episodes, but you gotta learn to do certain things that are effective at night. Move quietly. Don't get lost. Kind of have a feel for like where you're at, and the biggest thing is teamwork. Like, make sure that whatever group of guys you're with, they're not like just scattering to the fucking wind and you're out there by yourself. Like that's like the biggest screw up with night things is when people aren't communicating well enough.
So I got 2 things for this. So this past weekend was the first time I got to use my
You're so excited.
my nods at Bilson West. So it's not the first time, but it's the first main time I got to use them.
First extended period of time.
So you'd be surprised at how many lights and lasers are going on that you don't see with your naked eye.
Oh, fuck,
So
yeah, it's hilarious.
It's kind of important to like kind of know what the capabilities of nods are when you're going against them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a really important thing is if you're playing a night game, make sure you have a red light. Not only a white light, but a red light too, so you can like walk around and not give away your position entirely because the red light's a little harder to see from a distance.
Yeah, red lights are
definitely
the
important.
light, long science, short, red light spills off the fastest, so it's harder to see from further distances. And especially 99% of games, red light is your indication of being dead, so you do need a red light.
Yeah.
Either if it's an indicator that you're dead, or for like Bilson West is like a navigation or like personal light. Anthony preaches this one all the time too, is that like you want to try and be quiet and hidden the best you can, but as soon as you make that first hit, like there's no point in trying to stay quiet. Because like in real life, as soon as the first couple rounds go off, like, oh fuck, you know where each other is at, so you just start blazing. That's when you just say screw the nods and everybody go white light and just blast each other. That's the most effective way to do it. And then also, you know, maybe if you have some buddies with night vision, make sure your clothes aren't glowing in the light.
Don't wash your clothes with.
Don't use fabric softener. Wait, did you pull one?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. MST Airsoft. Hey, Amped. Love the show. Quick question. Do you guys think you'll ever come play in Maryland? Hashtag make Strikeforce great again. We've been there a few times. It was like last year early. I think we made it there. Maryland's kind of small. There's not that many games there. I mean, I have nothing against it. It was actually one of the nicest drives we did. It was like 3 hours from Pittsburgh. So if there's any games, post them up next time. Maybe we'll hit them up. Who knows?
All right, I got a short one here.
There you go.
Kaylin Stock, Novarish, tuning kit,
Really?
good or
Novarish.
bad? Novarish. Tuning kit, good or bad?
Hashtag money.
I don't really know what's in it, to be honest. I haven't really looked at it.
I don't either. I've been seeing a lot of it since he hopped on with Red Wolf lately. He's been plugging this giveaways and the kits a lot lately.
Yeah, I've seen he's plugging it, but I don't know. I'm sure it's all right.
I mean, yeah, none of us have had experience with them because all the VSRs we get, we either like throw like PDI upgrades in them or we just throw fucking bolts in and we just do that. I don't know. I would assume it's somewhat good if he's able to build these kits and sell them. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, seems
I
like a
would hope so.
trustworthy guy, I guess. I mean, I would.
You're gonna take flack on that one for some reason, I bet.
I don't know. I don't hate on people unless they give me.
I don't hate on people, yeah. Unless I try not to hate on people unless they like
I've never
meet
met
them
him,
and I'm
so I
like,
don't know.
yeah. I mean, I'm not about that sniper life.
Yeah.
Except when I run the bolt and I just
Shoot
drop
a
that
gun.
chick in the face.
We won't go there.
Whoa. Mac T. Is it really worth it to pay top dollar for BDUs or just buy them cheaper, but used on eBay or forums, etc.? Hashtag Harry Paratet. I can't even. What is that? Harry Paratestus?
I really don't know.
God damn. See, the thing is that the correlation with uniforms and stuff is always blown to shit because you always have Cry that's really expensive, and then repros that can be in the middle ground or expensive or cheap, and then you have like True Spec, which is kind of like the economy line, stuff like that, and then all the brands scattered in between. I've never bought high-end stuff brand new, I don't think. I think the only thing I've actually bought brand new were our Plaid Attack pants because they weren't used anywhere. Cries I only buy off of eBay or like person-to-person things off of the forums, and I make sure they're dirt cheap. Or I get ones that are like blown apart and like ones that I know I can fix with like patching and basic sewing. It depends. Like if you want Cry or something high-end, you can find them for cheap. Like you just have to be willing to wait and look around or put feelers out and it's like, hey, I'm looking for this, and then just be ready to not have it the next day. Like you wanted Ranger Greens for like the pants for like about 2 months, and you finally just someone found them. Yeah,
I paid kind of a not really a high price.
You were up a little bit,
but
because
they were up a little bit.
The Ranger Greens are a little harder to get.
They're kind of difficult.
But
you have to look at it from where we're coming from. Like we do Bilson West for the most part, and if I'm doing a game like that, I want to be sure that my stuff is going to last the 40 hours. If my crotch blows out like an hour in,
I'm screwed.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
We also have to make sure that our stuff's gonna last. Like if I buy, say, like a pair of the field pants, I get them at a steal for like 60 or 70. I want those that 60 or 70 to me needs to last a year, bare minimum, and that's gonna be God knows how many games.
Yeah.
Like Anthony got a pair of Cries, blew the crotch out second game he took him to.
Yeah,
Maybe he was doing squats wrong. I don't know. That's him. He seems to blow crotches out in every pant he wears.
That's none of my business.
But that's, again, it depends. Like if you're just looking for something to protect you and like a camouflage that you want, and True Spec has it, True Spec is more than fine, dude. Half of my like woodland tops and green tops and like 3-color desert is True Spec. So it's however much you want to spend and whatever, like. You have to find that sweet spot of like rarity and cool guy to just functionality. Yeah. Which it crosses at some point, but it's just what you want, man. I can't tell you what you want. You have to tell me what you think you want, and then I can guide you.
Just search for stuff on Facebook. You'll find something for cheap.
Yeah, the Facebook groups, besides Airsoft guns, they still have all the gear and closeouts. So just search them.
You're good. All right, Caleb Christensen. Do you know if MSW has ever considered doing a non-NATO versus Russia-themed game? I don't really think.
I don't think so.
No, Josh would probably tell you no.
Yeah. I mean, back when what did he call his old company?
I don't know.
Battle Sim, I think was the one that him and Clarkson used to do a couple years ago. They would actually do like reenactment more things. They had like Vietnam era themed games and stuff like that. But generally they keep this one Bilson West the way it is, I think, because it's the most pliable. It's the most pliable story format and timeline, because you can just get all these NATO dudes that want to run multicam and Cry Operator, and that's like the thing, and that's probably going to be the thing for a little while. So like that's one whole side filled. And now that the Russian thing is taking on so much popularity, like that's the whole other side. And like I think it's a cool thing, because it's literally what would happen if these two powers were to like, oh shit.
Yeah. It works. It gives attendance. Like
it really does.
Really good attendance.
If you haven't been,
that's not going to change.
Yeah, and if you haven't been to one of their games, like it's really cool when you get into large firefights and like the other side looks completely different.
And they're screaming Russian stuff at you.
Yeah, they're and like the guys who really get into it, and they're like screaming things like, "Oh shit, I can't understand them." Like if they're coming up staircases and buildings, and like there's like yelling crap that you don't understand, it really adds that extra little like icing to the immersion cake.
Plus, as NATO, you can do different countries. We went as Polish last weekend, so
Kerwa.
Kerwa.
Kerwa. Dude, I don't know.
So you can do.
Yeah.
I don't see them changing.
I don't. Yeah, back to the question. I don't see them doing a different style, at least for a long time. They are doing the Insurgency one, but that's literally what it's NATO and Rust for, with like civilians thrown into the mix. Yeah. Mason Kegel. Thanks for the awesome videos. My question is, how do y'all feel about airsoft shotguns for outdoor play? Not necessarily milsim play, but local outdoor fields. As far as shotguns, maybe like the APS KM870 or the HPA tapped TM870. Good idea or not so good idea? Hashtag TN love, Tennessee loves ampedairsoft. Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
We love you, maybe.
I saw a dude running a shotgun at MSW.
Yeah, one of the Marine dudes had like a breaching shotgun, and everybody's like, "Did you get somebody with it yet?" He's like, "Yeah, in the face." I was like,
but I mean, hey, dude, if your gun reaches that far enough for field, and you're gonna smack somebody with it, like go for it.
The TM870 by itself is an awesome gun, and the HPA tapped ones are hilarious. One of our buddies from Calling Your Hits team, Beta 302, I think I botched that. He runs a full size 870. With the HPA tap on it, and that thing is like a sniper. That thing's hilarious. So I think they're totally awesome. If you are fine with doing the sort of awkward reload of a shotgun, and you're able to carry enough shells that will last you all day, because if you get the TM shells, they're 30 shots. Yeah, I believe. 30, yeah. If you're fine with buying all the shells and all the extra stuff, like, fucking go for it, dude. That'd be awesome.
I mean, hey, it's kind of trolly too. So
it's hilarious. Like when you come in, if you like some of the dudes I know, they get like boom, 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 boom with the tapped ones. Like they'll hold the trigger down and just rack the thing. I'm like, oh, that's so mean.
It's awesome.
Like Rich will put it on 6-shot and like go do like CQB games and just like burn kids down. Xavier Groff. What the fuck? Look at that. Look at that photo.
Your thumbs. Oh.
No, look at the photo. Is that George? Is that George? Or is that Freeman as a cone head? Dude. Where do you buy prescription lenses for OTWs or M-frames? Such a standard question. Generally, if you contact them directly, they can offer you that shit. I think some of the dudes I've talked to, you get the framing and stuff like that, and the lenses, blank lenses, you can take them to most eye doctors and they'll do it for you, or they can ship it out. But generally, if you get a hold of the manufacturer of whatever eye pro you have, the high-end like ones will just tell you how to do it, or they'll have like a page on their website, I'm sure.
I've never had to eyeballs.
I'm all about contacts because I switch between OTWs and like M-frames, so I don't want to have to like switch things between those. Plus, they're expensive.
All right, Adventure Gaming. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
Hey, Amps, are you all going to Siege of Grozny? Hell yeah, son.
That's pretty simple.
Hell yeah, son.
That one's gonna be pretty hot.
Yeah.
Shelby, I've never had a bad time at Shelby. No matter like what company was putting a game on, I think Shelby's one of the coolest fields.
First time I went there, like blew my mind. I was like, this is awesome.
Like having like an actual built FOB and then like getting our asses kicked in an FOB.
Dude, hey, getting our asses kicked was one of the funnest, like most fun times I've ever had.
That was fun.
That was good.
What we got here? The White Devin. Almost first comment. My dad would have stopped beating me if I made first comment. Maybe next time. I mean, you gotta be faster, dude. You gotta get better, and then your dad will stop beating you. Maybe.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I guess it's me, guys.
I left a couple fun ones in here, I think.
Dylan Keelan. I think that's how you say it. But
Keelan?
Whatever. Black Friday is approaching. Any deals you could speak of as of now? Have you guys done a Wolverine Wraith personal build or a shotgun? I think the Wraith is a genius idea and a step in the right direction. Keep up the great work, Anthony and Matt.
And Dom.
I don't know.
We sprinkle you in just enough. We're like, oh, he's here still.
Yeah, something like that.
There's not really anything coming up until Black Friday because generally with this industry, building up to the holidays can be a bit of a slow time. And plus, I don't think most of the stuff, there's nothing that, like all the map controlled stuff, there's not really anything that would allow us to have a sale before then.
Not really.
That's all I can think of.
The Wolverine Wraith, We don't have it in a personal mode right now, do we?
No one has a personal one that I can think of.
Or a shop one?
The shop one we basically obliterated right off the bat, and that was, I would say, probably 80% to 99% our fault. It was the one when a couple of the dudes went down to the Wolverine Tech class. They built it in shop. We tinkered with it a lot because us being us, we had to do that because we're idiots, but we also wanted to do it for science. And in doing that, I think we kind of like messed some things up. Ours is pretty whooped on already just from like tinkering with it and everything. I haven't talked to the Wolverine dudes lately. I believe there is a slight upgrade part to it already. I haven't heard of.
I want to see it perform in person too. Like it's an interesting thing. So
that's the thing is they've been coming in from Wolverine and going out the door almost immediately. The standalone kit and the buffer tube kit. We haven't really had time to like snag one and build it because we've been last like month or so we've been hitting games up so rapidly and just getting all sorts of other crap going on.
Yeah.
I'd really like to because I do want to do like an install video for everybody too, because certain bodies and stuff it can be kind of an invasive install. So we want to make sure dudes are like doing it correctly to not like botch the shit out of their stuff. We've talked to a few people that had them. Other than that, I'm kind of blank on it right now.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the idea of it's pretty hot still, so we'll have to see. Axios, Mike. Hey guys, my KSC G17 is not firing. It's just making a putt sound, putt sound after the rear, and also the rear sight is sliding around. Please help, thanks. Holy shit, you have an old gun. I have a KSC Glock 17 somewhere. The rear sight, I just put a dab of like super glue on that because it gets kind of loose in there. That should usually keep it sighted or held in place pretty well. As for whatever it's doing, that could, because your very in-depth description, I'm going to have to go off of that. I have no idea. Generally, mine started crapping out with, it was something with like the slide sears or something like that were messing up. Not sears. The slide catch started giving out, and then the plunger, when you pull the trigger that hits the gas release in the back of the mag was like sticking, or it was like not hitting it correctly. So like I'd go to fire like a round or two and then it would just dump the whole mag of the gas out. God damn it, KSC. You ever even heard of those before? You haven't?
I've heard of them, but I have no real input.
Yeah, dude, like gas guns can be kind of little gremlins to diagnose sometimes, so I kind of like need it in front of me, but I don't think a lot of people work on KSCs anymore, so like maybe try and check some gas blowback forums. Because mine has been put in the grave like years ago. I think I'm just keeping it for sentimental value.
Just like it's so old,
I'm just like, I can't fix it anymore.
A mill. Hey Anthony, when is the second part of your Bilson West Kid from a fan in Denmark?
Yeah, Anthony, when's that? Oh, damn, he's not here.
Oh, yeah.
He just pops
He's
up.
doing real life things.
Yeah. I am gonna hopefully get his out soon.
AKA 2018.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be the preview for Grozny fucking 2020. We have a schedule kind of lined up, and I actually am gonna squeeze out another one of our employees, Sunshines. I'm gonna get his gear video out. We shot that a little while ago, and he nagged me a little bit about it, and it's kind of my bad. Just we got shot a while ago, and I want to get it out. Anthony's, I'm probably gonna shoot definitely before Thanksgiving, actually, because the second part of his goes into much more detail about packing your ruck and sustainment gear for MSW, which could also be applied to like 24-hour games and stuff like that. So soon. I was gonna say this at the beginning of the video. We've been, like I said, we got kind of slammed the last couple of weeks with just events, and we've had a lot of like logistic stuff going on with like software and all of our warehouse stuff. So that my bad on some of the videos kind of falling on the wayside for a little bit. That should be ramping right back up next week to normal. So, bam.
Yeah, dude, you suck.
Yo, man, it's because you're not here anymore to like keep me company.
I'm here today.
Oh, damn, here we go. Here's that banger.
I've been trying to avoid that one.
You das. Jose Luando, the guy, I never pronounced his last name correctly. I think I remember this one. Hey guys, coming at you again with a question about money and airsoft personalities, because this won't butthurt anybody. Recently, one of my favorite YouTube personalities, Dials46, got picked up to be an employee of Elite Force. Now that he's an employee of them, I feel like the style of his content has completely shifted into more of an aspect of pushing product. Now, while I can't hate on him for doing what he has to do to make that paper, I kind of feel like when personalities get to that high level of status in the social media aspect, they have to pick a side in order to be economically viable. So instead of having content that shows us players a wide spectrum of airsoft and products and how we can go about things, you now are only showing me one side of a coin. And not only that, you're probably only going to show me the good side because your view is probably going to be highly biased. How do you guys feel about that? Does it kind of stifle creativity due to new players only seeing one big brand as the go-to brand? Because that's what all the Jets and such say to buy. I think we've dabbled on this quite often, haven't we? I feel like
I've seen there's a lot of times you guys commented on that, like when I was watching it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you have to realize is like we're like the special snowflakes of idiots on YouTube. We don't do things the way you should, and I don't know why it's working still somehow. Like, I don't really know how I feel about it too much. I never really followed him personally or like a lot of his YouTube stuff. I've heard of him before. I don't know if you've ever really looked at his stuff.
Yeah. You can't, like you said, you can't really hate on him.
That's what I mean. Is like I think you have like a very based idea of like where he's coming from. It's like the dude got picked up because of his content was good quality, and Elite Force saw that as like your personality and someone that could help push their products further.
Good for that guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like generally like if you're trying to sell something, like you don't want to call out the bad things on it. Is like it's not that I want to call it dishonest. It's that you don't want to draw attention to it because sometimes it's like the whole thing, like what mag will work in my gun, and this mag, I'll get this percentage of people will come to me like, oh, it does this, but then there's this percentage like, oh, I love that thing. It's like, it's one of those things where like it's almost a risk I think you have to take where you could mention that like we do with certain things where it's like if we get an overarching amount of people saying it and experiences of us finding that there's an error or something not working correctly or as described by the manufacturer, we'll call it out. I think what a lot of people like, because some will be like, oh, this Elite Force blah, blah, blah gun doesn't work with these mags. Well, that's what I mean is like, why would you go to the trouble of mentioning that and then potentially stifling your sales where you don't know if that's that person's specific gun may have been the lemon of that batch. Maybe their mags were botched. Maybe they're doing something completely wrong. Maybe it could be the gun, maybe it could be the mags. It's one of those things where there's so many options that you don't necessarily want to call out the bad things, even if you have heard a couple hints that that could be a thing or not. It's a hard thing to hit because you also don't want to lie to your customers. So I don't think I've ever like, especially the name brands like Elite Force and them, I don't think they've ever blatantly had like something horrible or completely user unfriendly come out and they just shrugged it off or they kept pushing it. I don't think I've ever quite seen anything that bad, so it's
I think overall you have a good point of view of it.
Yeah,
like,
I think you kind of have a good idea. Like going back to like him specifically as a YouTuber, yeah, I mean that kind of sucks because I glanced through his channel earlier when I saw the name pop up on your question and like he has like a Walmart frozen camping food like meal review and like the thumbnail's just making this disgusting face and all this stuff. Like yeah, like now that he's for Elite Force, he may not get to do all that kind of crazy fun stuff. But you know that's just how people have to do. Like sometimes you just gotta pay the bills, and that's what pays the bills. Yeah. So I mean, like, or you know, it could be the whole complete other way. Maybe he was getting tired of doing that stuff. I don't know. I've never talked to him. Yeah, I'm probably completely wrong on this part, but it's just how it goes. I'm totally like the dude about all this shit. I'm like, man, just whatever you want it to be, bro. Just why can't we all just hang out, man?
You're like hippie, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just like Kauai.
Come on. Explore everything. Hey, Amped. What do you think about fields basically harassing HPA players just because they don't like it? At my local field, I have been threatened with being banned despite the fact that I have never done anything against the rules at the field. How should fields better regulate HPA so entire groups of players don't get kicked out just because one person complained that something was shooting hot? Well, this question gets brought up like a lot.
Daily almost to us.
It seems like fields around us though like are real lenient on the rules, and we don't have any issues.
I wouldn't even say it's the word lenient. I would say that they're understanding of the differences of systems, but more so their understanding of the differences of mentalities of players, which is where the shitstorms come from.
We also have a very like close community here, so I think like people expect you to do the right thing, and if you don't, you're gonna get like you're gonna get roasted.
Yeah,
like,
if you're an asshole or something, you just get get out of here, bye, and then you're like, oh crap, I have nowhere to play.
But for rules to regulate it, I mean, tournament locks, I guess, FCU locks, but like any system you can cheat on. I hate when people just single out HPA. Mm-hmm. Like
because HPA is the most apparently easy to cheat with system. If that's where it comes from, is because like the PTW had the same thing. Like I feel like every 4 videos we touch on this one pretty heavily, but it's like the PTW was the same thing before HPA was really apparent. Like dudes would just swap cylinders, or they would put heavier springs in the low cylinders, stuff like that. I remember back in the day when they had to zip tie the fucking receivers down because dudes would be doing that. It falls to the whole thing of even the whole real firearms and the gun control debates and stuff, that it's not the gun. The gun doesn't do
it's the user.
Except for Anthony's at 34 and then Tony Baloney's shooting west. Those guns have a mind of their own. That's a different story.
I mean,
it comes down to the field understanding its player base, and you also understanding where the field's coming from. A lot of fields, like the main idea, they're there besides giving the players a place to play is to make a profit. And if you have a lot of the elitists or dudes that are a little hardcore and they bring the higher end guns or HPA and they play like they normally do and they burn some 12-year-olds down, of course 12-year-olds are going to complain because they never got that bad. So that's the thing you have to, there's always a middle ground, and it's going to be different every single field, every single day, every single open play. It's going to be different. There could be a shitbird that shows up one day and is doing the fucking 40 rounds a second rope gun, and he ruins it for everybody. Or there could be a team that shows, when we go, we don't shoot auto. Everything's set to realistic rate of fire if we do. Mm-hmm. We try not to be complete dicks to people, but we still play kind of aggressively. But then you turn around and you have kids that this is the second time they've ever played, and they don't know what the fuck's going on, and then they get burned down and stuff like that. So there's always going to be also the spectrum of what is someone considered cheating and what does someone consider just aggressive play or something they've not experienced before as well.
I mean, as a user, you kind of just have to make... just don't be the guy that has his stuff turned up all the way. Don't be the guy that just hams up the trigger.
if you're a West Coast guy and you're at SC Village and it's fucking speed soft night or whatever they do, fucking go to town because that's what they expect. But if you're at an open play and it's more middle sim oriented or just kind of outdoor play, you don't need that crap set that way.
Just don't be that guy. You know if you're going to be that guy or not. Don't be that guy.
That's the biggest thing is if simple you enough. You stated in your comment, you claimed you weren't breaking any rules and stuff like that. It's double check, make sure you aren't when you chrono, make sure you're doing joules, make sure your weight is accounted for, make sure your regulator and everything is locked, or at least they check it, zip tie it, mark it, whatever they got to do. Make sure you're being safe with everything. If people don't understand the system, you learn the system or the things of the natures of that system and try to explain it to people. You don't have to layman's term it to them, but kind of let them know hey, this is what this is all about. Because again, it's a thing that maybe it's a system people don't understand.
Yeah.
But like Dom said, it all comes down to don't be that person, and also just it's gonna happen. It's not gonna go away because we could have months and years of no cheating, airsoft is perfect, but then there's always gonna be that one shitbird that just shows up out of nowhere and is ruined. It's just how it's gonna be.
We did mess up earlier though.
Yeah, I was like, I went twice, didn't I?
Yeah, earlier. Yeah, somebody's gonna catch it.
Somebody's like, Ree, you're out of order. Watch, I'm gonna get all the questions like one over, like they're gonna be misplaced. Like Pope, which has nicer externals, Real Sword or Enel. Real Sword is so common here, but I've never heard of Enel in the country. I don't know what country you're in, so they're pretty comparable.
I mean, Enel correctly is made in a real AK vector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they both are. I'm pretty sure Real Sword still is.
I've never felt a real sword. So I don't
Zach's SVD. If you ever picked it up.
His SVD feels pretty nice.
SVD, like you could kill a bear with that thing just by smacking it.
I'd say they're both probably nice then.
Yeah, I think Enel. I've had more experience and held more of them, and like I'm in love with like the blued steel and the real wood and all that stuff. Real Sword's the same. Like I know theirs are more compatible with real AK stocks and grips and stuff like that. I honestly can't comment on which I would think is better.
I'm not an AK guy.
Yeah, bro. I like that. I like that rare M4.
Yeah, son.
Yeah. I think Real Sword has a little bit more of the rarity to it because Enel is like we can get those in no problem.
Yeah.
So, it's whatever.
I definitely say Real Sword is more rare. There's two in here? Oh, cool.
Yeah, bro.
Andrew Chipchowski. Pretty sure I got that right.
I think you did, actually.
That was pretty
He's
good.
going to yell at you.
Hey, folks. I recently bought a Mark II CRB from you guys in store, and I'm not a big fan of the square, modern-looking receiver set. I was wondering what receivers would work with the CRB gearbox, GMP, VFC, etc. Also, have you guys had any experience with the VFC type bore barrels? Thanks. Love the shop. Hashtag Dank Lives Matter. Hashtag Billery for prison.
What is Billery?
I don't know.
Something I'm missing out on.
One, man.
These damn kids are so fast.
I mean,
the Crytacs are, from what we've really found, are the most compatible with VFC receivers. I forget what science we did, but one upper fits with the other lower, no problem, but vice versa, it's a little iffy. That doesn't necessarily affect the gearbox, though. The biggest thing with Crytac gearboxes you have to look into is the selector switch and stuff, because they use the ambi, so they have the gears on the sides. Easiest thing you can do is you can pop those out if you don't care as much about ambi. You can just get a standard selector plate, and then the selector on the receiver I think stays about this, not the same, but you just swap the gears off of the gearbox and get the selector plate. And generally you can drop that gearbox into almost any of like the generic standard M4 bodies. Know that GMP, if it's not all of their own internal parts, can be a little iffy on alignment things because there's just slightly not off but different. Because I know like you had an F1 and a GMP body, and you just had all sorts of gremlins with like alignment, right? GMP like their externals are so good and like solid, but then like trying to do HPA stuff to it, you got to work on it really hard.
Yeah. I mean, stick with the VFC body if you're going to switch it. I would say that's the closest match. Unless you, I don't know.
Pick up the amped custom receiver that I was going to talk about later.
Yeah,
those are
cool.
Since it came up, I'll just talk about it anyways. These are literally just VFC OEMs, but we got them custom engraved with some of our swaggy logos. This one, the tattered one on that side, I think came out amazing. But these are completely just standard M4 receivers with our stuff engraved on them. They come blank with the selector already installed, and you get your mag release, bolt release, and all your pins.
I think you get everything.
It doesn't come with the hop up.
It doesn't come with the hop up.
Your release and everything is already installed. But yeah, these are completely VFC compatible. We've already had a couple people do builds on them. I'm waiting to. I think I'm gonna build a wrist 2 off of mine, so I got to get a couple more parts for it.
Might go soft mod.
Yeah, you gonna do it?
Maybe.
You gonna find a rail?
If
I hope mine doesn't fall apart anytime soon.
Whatever.
Yeah, generally just stick with the current name brand ones. You'll be fine. Like this is a Crytek upper on a VFC lower. That's our buddy Meow's. it works.
And it worked fine this weekend, right?
Yeah. Until he got tired of the tank and I had to give him my other VFC lower.
Whatever.
And then he's like, this thing's shooting laser beams. Like, I just built that Thursday night. Shit. All right. That was me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, shit. What would I do without you, Tom? You keep me straight. Or crooked, you know.
Whatever you prefer.
Arbiter Airsoft. Hey, Amp, I was wondering what are quality pouches for SCAR H mags. Also, what's your opinion on Emerson gear? Hashtag GBBR Master Race.
Well, I ran a SCAR H. So you have a couple options for SCAR H mags. Tacos are one. The Blue Force gears are one. I ran a chest rig for mine, so like I used a Mayflower, the Pusher Gen 5. So we're
make sure you get the red gen. Don't rip your head off.
So we don't. That one had all the inserts. So, also our chest rigs have them. It can fit a SCAR mag. Anything that has elastic, really like elastic fitting mags, they will work.
I think the pouches you're gonna have to look for specific 308 ones.
I think Tactical Tailor makes some. I think
they would.
I'm trying to think. Mayflower makes a bunch of different stuff for 762. So definitely check them out. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that I feel like I'm missing one that's really
Yeah, because if he's running gas blowback, he's gonna need solid ones because those mags are gonna be heavy.
Yeah.
I think the most common I see is people just run the Blue Force gear triple on their chest.
Yeah.
I know there's a bunch out there that I'm just so brain farting right now.
You do your research on like Mayflower, Tactical Tailor, like all the name brands. They'll have like plenty of options. You just gotta kind of go through
LBT should have a bunch too.
Yeah,
LBX doesn't. I think they just stick mostly with M4 stuff.
Emerson gear. Emerson gear is okay, I guess. More like I don't know. I kind of like TMC.
I thought you were gonna get uppity about it.
No, I mean like I can't really, I can't really hate on stuff. I don't really like to hate on things. I probably would, if I was going for a brand that was like an off-brand like that, I would probably go for TMC. I kind of like their quality of stuff, even though it's obviously repro, but I like their quality.
TMC, I think,
not too bad.
If you're going just off of repro stuff, like I think a lot of TMC stuff is a step above Emerson.
I think it is. I agree.
But like I've had a set of like the Emerson like G2 Cry knockoffs, and God, I've had those for like 5 years, and they're actually holding up fairly well. Yeah. I mean, they probably look like shit under night vision, but generally, like it's the thing we always fall back on. Like if you're really hurting and like you can find a set of the Emerson Repro, whatever you want, like I'm not gonna tell you not to get it, but I'm also gonna tell you don't get butt mad if it craps the bed like early on. It may not. It may still. It's hard to say.
I mean, we carry the TMC JPCs. I'm impressed with the quality of them. I mean, for what the price is, like $60 or something like that. Yeah. I'm impressed with it. Emerson and TMC are usually the same price, so I would probably go with TMC over Emerson.
And TMC usually has, they make like pecs and stuff, right? Or no? They stick more with like gear and
TMC
clothing.
is more gear, yeah.
Okay.
And then like Element and
that's your
Emerson are mostly stuff like that. So Caleb Christensen again. What is the purpose to getting a gun with trademarks? To look cool, I guess. I mean, whatever. Some people like
frog gun,
dude. I gotta like cut off the frogs. No more frogs.
Yeah, I think it's literally because dudes just want their guns to look as realistic as possible. Yeah. I honestly don't care.
That's like Colt trademarks are like sought after for Marquee Kings. People love the Colt trademark, so it's just like it's just like one of those little things that you spurg out about. And you're like,
I mean, it's that little bit extra cool. Like if you just don't have a blank receiver, I honestly don't care because like all of our guns get painted generally.
I try to get rid of the trademarks on my gun because they're all frogs, and the GMP has frogs all over it. So
yeah, it's literally. Wanting them to look cool.
Yep,
I think sometimes there's a slight price uptick with certain ones, like the Colt, like you said, the Colt VFCs.
That one's hard to get in.
Cost a little more,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the other thing is like it's almost like a game of customs chicken trying to get them into the country too.
It's kind of a rarity thing.
So unless it's like a Umarex like H&K licensed one, you're gonna have trouble getting them in.
Yeah.
Like Rich got his TM recoil shotgun, and they turned the box inside out, so it just looks like a plain gray box, but then it's like the actual TM box, like all inside out.
Yeah.
God. So.
Hey, you got it though.
If you like plain chicken with customs, go for it, but I'm gonna tell you, you might get burned. Jake Reilly, does saffron cook for you guys? No, but I wish he did. Saf, not to go too much into his personal stuff, he is working a uber swank job in West Virginia at a really swaggy restaurant. I almost went there a couple weeks ago. I'm hopefully going to go pretty soon. But if you don't already follow his like Instagram or Facebook, he posts like food porn every day, and it's like, holy shit, that plate looks like it's $80. And it's like one of the things where it's like, there's the plate, and then there's like this little blob of like decorated food, and half the plate's empty, and I'm like, this plate's probably like really expensive, and I can't afford it. But he's doing what he's always wanted to, and he's doing what he's very, very, very good at. So I wish he cooked for us, but I can't afford that daily. I'd die. He probably can't even afford it daily. Maybe.
Hey, man.
That privileged life.
All right, Christopher Howard. Hey, Amped. Love the show. My question is, how valuable is a sidearm in the CQB or mount environment? Is it worth the extra weight or borderline useless? Personally, the only time I've seen a need for a sidearm personally is if I'm carrying my saw. The saw usually has a med, so...
Or you saw a lot of games you can't shoot auto inside.
Yeah, so like I'm kind of burned there. So carrying a pistol for that reason, yeah. Really, anything else, it's kind of just a waste of space or just extra weight that I would carry. Like, I would never carry one of them MSW personally. I've
just never had a need for one.
Yeah.
I generally always try to keep my guns rifleman chrono limit, and that usually means there's no med. Like you said, if you're running a specialty role, like a saw gun or a sniper DMR where you can't shoot indoors, it would be good to have, especially if you know you're going to be going in a lot.
Yeah.
And also one that I kind of have, like, if dudes that run blank fire at MSW,
yeah,
it might be good to have a pistol in case you do go inside, because you can't do blank fire anywhere near buildings. It depends, like, do you really think you're going to be switching to that often? Or, you know, like, if you do run everything rifleman limit, chrono's fine, what if your gun shits the bed?
Yeah.
Are you bringing it back up for your main rifle, or are you just going to switch to a pistol? It's really just how much weight you want to carry. Like I said, most of us, we just don't even bother.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would rather put that weight into another lower for my rifle.
Or another MRE. Or snacks.
Nah, dude, I'm
Do more
going
snacks,
with the granola leather Mountain House meals. Forget it. That's all I ate this weekend.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, but
Lego Analysts? Fire Rescue. Whoa.
Good luck, bud.
I apologize if that's like an area of fire actual
Lego
fire.
Angeles.
What he said. Hey, Amped, huge fan. How do you think I should convince my dad to let me get into Airsoft because I really want to? Help, Plez.
How do you convince your dad to get an Airsoft? Make him go with you. I don't know. I started playing when I was young. My dad used to like play with me. So
Yeah, he used to go with you.
So, you know, I guess, I don't know, is your dad like anti-gun, or like, yeah, you know, you have to give us more information about that, because I know some parents are kind of weary about like
most
playing
parents
with
are
toy guns.
wary about this because
Yeah.
like it is technically a firearm that you're playing with, so you have to learn all the safety that you can about it. More importantly, prove to your parents that you're not an idiot. That's usually the big stepping stone that hurts a lot of people. Prove to your parents that you're not an idiot and you know all the rules and the safety precautions. Learn basic firearm safety. Never put your damn finger on the trigger unless you're actually shooting somebody.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. It's surprising how many people still do that.
No, I know. I see it all the time.
Yeah, basically just learn all the basics, and then kind of, if your parents are knowing or if they're not, you got to kind of get a base for where they're at and then just instruct them. Tell them what the games are like. Tell them, you know, it's like they're more like matches or they're more like paintball. They're in controlled environments. They're in safe areas where, you know, you don't have to worry. They're on private property. You don't have to worry about police. Show them that you have all the proper safety equipment to protect all your things that they don't want to pay to fix. Like, you get a tooth shot out, I'll guarantee you from experience your mom will be very mad at you. Don't do it. So, yeah, just show them that you can be safe. Show them that you have you at least all the safety equipment, or you know what you need to get or still purchase. And then just kind of like find videos that kind of show what it's like online.
And don't tell them how much it costs. Because they'll probably be like, no.
Because that's just going to be a forever thing that you got to deal with. And it's just going to be, they're not going to like it when it could be like a year's
that
worth.
might be the biggest
thing.
A
year's worth of college could go into this hobby like that, no problem. So
definitely.
Just be considerate of them. And then especially if you need to convince them, because I'm assuming you're under their house, you got to listen to their rules. But if you stay at it respectfully, they will be a little lenient and let you go out.
Yeah.
Just don't be an asshole to your parents, because
be nice to them.
They're taking care of you now.
They feed you
until you're like 30, because I'm sure most of you will still be in your basements with your parents.
What's a woman?
Hey. Alrighty, lassies, that was 56. Kind of did a short, sweet one, maybe. We figured we'd get it out of your hair because Anthony's not here and you're going to be butt mad.
So we might as well get it over with.
Yeah, I might as well just get out of here. And Dom's just going to go back to normal life.
I'm going to go hide because Anthony will yell at me.
He's going to go drive a BMW home and I'm going to go cry.
I mean, you said it, man. I didn't say that.
Like I said, we got a little bit of influx of new stuff. The amp receivers are online now. So if you're looking to do a custom build, or if you want us to build one for you, we're going to start offering those. Message like our Facebook if you want to get one done. We just got in basically the full line of the HPA high power airsoft BBs, from like 3.2s to the biodegradable white 4s, which I think Legs ran those the other weekend and they shot pretty damn well.
Shot good.
So we should have the full line of the HPA online. What else we got?
We got restocking the springs.
The Maple Airsoft
supply springs. These sell out quick, so get those.
Yeah, we can't keep those in.
We got EPM internals, so you can replace the internals of your EPMs.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure if these work on the old school PMags or not, but I'm going to check for myself because I might replace my old school PMags with these.
Yeah, so if you guys got like some of the first gen EPMs and you worked on them, if you don't feel like tearing them apart and doing the resprings, you could just literally pop the screw, take the guts out, drop a new one in.
Yeah.
So that's about the coolest QD quick or spring upgrade you could do, honestly. I'm surprised more people don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe we'll do a video pretty soon, see what these are compatible with, so I might expense some.
We just got the EPS, the PTS EPS stocks in.
Finally.
Plenty of room on the inside of these. They're massive. It's about the same size as the Crytek stock.
It's about half an inch longer or so.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer. That's the only thing. There's plenty of room in the inside of this. We'll probably
fit a car battery in that thing.
Probably do a review on these, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
See if we can break one or something. Break a stock somehow.
I mean, I like the stock. It's a really cool stock. It has the QD for the sling swivels and everything, so that's really cool.
Yeah, those should be going up by the time this is up. Hopefully they're up or pretty soon.
Yeah.
And also Dom's excited about his this little grenade
it's
package.
It's not something I would use, but like, this is awesome. This package comes with it's 3 Cyclones, so it comes with the 3 of the Cyclones itself. It also comes with 3 banger holsters, so like Kydex holsters. It comes with those.
It also comes with the little the things you put your door swipe card on, the little lanyards, the little track. It comes with those for your grenade pin.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So that's pretty sweet.
It comes with the oils,
all the stickers.
Yes, stickers and morale patches. So I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in this pack. I think it's well worth the money.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hopefully those go up pretty soon. Other than that, I think we're pretty square. Like I said, we just got back from Caspian Gap. Look for the video in about 2 years.
Yeah.
P is going to be heading to TKI. He's the only one from the shop going. That is the same weekend as Faded Giant, I believe.
Maybe I'll just drop out of school.
I don't know if we're making it to Faded Giant, but hopefully we're going to hit up Valahak a few more times, possibly an MSATO game or two, and maybe we'll hit up some local games. We'll see. But other than that, I think that's all I got. So this has been 56. Dom's got to get out of here probably. He's got school.
I gotta go to school, man.
Got that hockey, man.
D's to get degrees. Yeah, school
right?
and hockey. Fuck.
All right, guys. So this has been 56. Make sure to check out Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. You're hopefully already subscribed to our YouTube. And get questions in for the next episode. Anthony will probably be back, so you can ask stupid ones for him.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe episode 60, we'll try and squeeze something fun in. We might try and get some get some of our pals to come out, and maybe we'll do another day-long video shoot.
Just kidding. It's just gonna be me.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Dom. It's only Dom. Whatever.
Yeah, that'd
So
be a terrible video.
thanks for stopping in, guys, and we will see you at the next episode. Deuces. And I have to pee like always.